and they're just like, yo, you gonna lie on holy ground? So I ain't like, you gonna lie on holy ground? Like, you lying at the church? It's like, well, it's not the church. This is at the school. It's like, nah, it's the church. You lying at the church. And then somebody else was just like in another conversation. They was like, well, nah, the church isn't the building, it's the people. It's like, nah, it's the building. It's like, you go to church. It's like, no, you go to church to meet with the people.
Yeah.
You know, and then they were like, yo, okay, man, what is it? Is it a building or is it people? I was like, it's people that happen to gather at a building sometimes. You know what I mean? They're kind of connected.
Scholarly
but
right there.
Come on, man. But I think again, it's just like people have, I think most people have a certain level of awe of God. Like they know it's something bigger, even if they don't want to admit what it is or what the implications of that is. They like have a reverence for the idea of it. It's just like connecting them to like the truth that it's not necessarily, almost kind of like this like worship of a space. I feel like that's what I see a lot of. It's like a worship of a space or a particular time or a particular day, like Sunday, but it's not necessarily like understanding that like the person that put that together like wants to have a relationship with you every day, not just at this space or at this time or on this day, but like a connection to you and just like how you move throughout the world in general. And so I think trying to like help folks that we work with kind of like understand that, and also like being willing, because I think about like people that also, you know, work in our community, maybe not work directly with us like as a profession, but in our community that are just like some of like the most loving, caring people that just, you know, that have had experiences but like had like God really changed their lives, and they might not be the most like theologically savvy or anything else, but again, they're on that opposite side. It's like, I had this experience, I know that God is real, and like my life reflects that in how I treat people, how I love people, and what I'm able to do. You know, like I think I could, like Alan, like that's like a guy named Alan that he's a part of, you know, the ministry that we, you know, we connect and we work with, and he's just like one of those guys, like I can come in on a Monday morning like about 9, which is rare.
Yeah.
But you know, he's up there just cleaning up stuff, and not because he needs to get paid for whatever else, but just because, you know, that's just what he wants to do, you know. So I think that's the other thing. It's like learning, again, kind of taking things just from the head and like really putting them to your feet and your hands and making it something that people can see, and that's an authentic representation of what Christ stood for and who he is. I think that that's kind of the best thing you can do for doubters. Like, you want to be able to have conversations with them, but ultimately, if your like conversation and how you respond to them is kind of not parallel, like you're still gonna run into a lot of problems.
What about you, E?
Yeah, I think like just consistency. Like, I mean, everybody, like, because everybody's coming in with different vantage points. Like, you know, like I can be with two dudes with, you know, from the streets or whatever, and like just happened, like, you know, my man CK is like, he was just like, yo man, like, yo, if that came out of Ramirez's mouth, we calling him baby Jesus right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they calling him. And like Ramirez, like, is the farthest from like evangelist type, you know, he just consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like consistency is a strong characteristic, you know, like even like my boss, who is legendary in my eyes, working with him every day, you know, like I think his like, we would probably disagree in a lot of different things and be similar, and I've learned so much, you know what I mean, but he's consistent. Like, so consistent. Like, if you talk to people that he's been working in our neighborhood for 23 years, I ran into people 23 years ago, and I was like, and they was like, yo, is Roy still down there or whatever? And it was like, yeah. He was like, oh, he still got the same message. I've seen people come in and be like, he still got this, like, the consistency. Like, that's what this whole hypocrite thing comes. There's no consistency. You know what I mean? So, like, I think as a leader, you know, and as Christians, like, you know, we just want Kanye to be consistent. All right, like, what made
he's consistently inconsistent.
Like, he's consistently great with music. You know what I'm saying? But like his mindset, we don't see the consistencies, and so we're thrown off. You know what I mean? So I think just in general, like you know, consistency is a big thing for like that, like whatever you believing, like, you know, it may be, there's respect for being consistent. I think that's what cats are looking for. Like your street credibility is your consistency. Like whatever you want, like, or if they tell me like, I respect you, is because a certain amount of consistency. They don't see the flip flop, you know, like the flip flop, like this is like, and the same thing, I have respect for cats in the street, like, yo, he's consistent. Like whatever he's doing, like I might not agree with, but he's consistent. He believes what he believes. He's about it. You know what I mean? And we can have those conversations, but like you're gonna respect consistency. So it's like, especially when you're like leaders, you know what I mean? Like leaders are going to like, they just lead. You know, like I've been around a lot of great leaders, and they don't know, they just lead. You know what I mean? Like leaders lead. That's it. You know what I mean? Like whatever they believe, they're taking it and they're running with it. You know what I mean? You gotta respect that at the end of the day. So I think like we are changing, we're making doubters into you know, believing in what we're doing. You know, I don't know if I can say is, you know, coming to Christ fully. You know, only God can really do that. But I think they believe in what we're doing because there's a consistency in the community. You know what I mean? And values that they may not even all understand. And I think from us, we don't even understand the impact. You know, like I can't say like I know the impact, the results of it, but what's successful is being consistent. So I think as Christians that help our doubters, it just be consistent. You know what I mean? And you should be growing and changing in your consistency. So if you're about that knowledge, consistently be about like at least he's like, you know, people respect like when you try to answer the question. Like you ain't gotta have the answers. Yeah. But take the time, like at least like, oh, he'll seek it out. He's not giving me the like quick like cookie cutter answer.
Trust God.
I mean?
Trust God.
Yeah, trust God. You know, people respect like yo, the consistency of what you are. So I think like if anything we're doing is just being consistent. We've been there for a long time. You know what I mean? And it's the same message, the same principles. You know, I got friends that like, yo, I don't agree with your beliefs. You know, would never say it like at barbershop talk. They are barber, so barbershop talk. Like I don't really get what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? But like I respect it. You know what I mean? And I think like, you know that I think that's what matters most as being Christian. Just be consistent, man. You're broken. You know, be consistently broken and consistently trusting in the gospel at the same time, because that's a big witness.
One of the things that I've noticed just engaging people who think differently from me, and you kind of hit on this, is like valuing them as people.
Yeah.
You know, valuing them as people means listening to them. I think a lot of times as Christians, it's like, yo, I'm gonna learn you. Yeah. You're gonna learn something. But I feel like a lot of the conversations I have, I've learned more for another unbeliever than them learning from me. Definitely. And just giving somebody a time and day just to listen to them. Yeah. Like I got this dude who I work with, and furthest believe what I believe, but we can sit down and have these deep conversations because he knows I'm not gonna look at him crazy. He could say the most blasphemous thing in the world. I'm gonna just have a straight face and just say, I understand, I respect that, you know. And it's like, I hate to use this cliche, but it's like, you know, people, I'm probably gonna butcher, it's like people only care when they know you care, or something to that effect. And it's like you generally have to care for somebody else because you want them to care about what you're saying. And a lot of times we always just like offering when like most of the time people don't care what we think. Now if you ask me what I think, I tell you, but a lot of times we go into a situation just saying, hey, because I got other people who doing whatever they might do, and you know, why you not married, why you ain't doing this, that, and the third, and it's like, bruh, just listen to them have a conversation, listen to them talk. You know, I know what scripture says on marriage. I know these things, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, what you doing? Why you shacking up? Why you doing all this? And it's like, yo, just sit there and listen and just shut up. Definitely. Just shut up and just listen to people talk, because at that time, people gonna be more willing to listen to you. And because like you said, you've built that credibility. You've built that equity with people where they know he's not just trying to beat me upside the head. He's not gonna sit here and judge me. You know, it's like, I ain't in no position to judge nobody. And so many times as Christians, we coming from that perspective where it's like, I see that sin in your life.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, what about you? It's like, I'm chief of sinners, bro.
Definitely.
Who am I to stand here in somebody's judgment? It's like, yeah, I'm just here. I don't want to be, because I like to say this, the gospel convicts and comforts.
Yeah.
We usually too heavy on one end or the
Definitely.
other.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we got to be there to comfort people.
Yeah.
We're not going to agree with everybody.
Definitely.
But what I think one of the biggest testimonies someone can have is somebody else's testimony of you. Because so many times we want to puff ourselves up and talk about how good we are. But if I could sit here and say, I know this dude, man, he's a solid dude. Like, I think that carries a lot more weight than you having to say, I'm a solid dude, but other people can testify on your behalf. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I try to take pride in. It's like, if somebody interacts with me, like, B's a solid dude.
Definitely.
Like, I may not agree with him, but he a solid dude. He treats me with respect. He honors me. He values me as a human being. He listens to me. Yeah. That's what I care more. And I think that's the best way to engage culture because we we don't look at people as people. Definitely. We just look, you're a sinner. Yeah. Yes, and like how can I like save you? And it's like, and I'm the one who need the biggest saving in the world. Yeah, definitely. And that kind of leads. Okay, I know.
Yeah, I had something I wanted to add to that.
Got you. I think too, like everybody's on a journey because I think like going back, like when I was a new believer, and I think we all went through that. Like, like you be on that rah-rah, like you be going hard. And I think like, it is like, it's a beautiful thing to see. Like if you saw a new believer right now and they was going hard, like, sometimes like as an old believer, like you just calm down a little bit.
I don't want to
like giving that, like I needed that, like when I was like that, like I'm kind of like, I appreciate that time. You know what I mean? Maybe like to the young man, but in some sense, like you need some of that. Like you need some of like we are complex
zeal,
people. You need people's zeal hitting the streets. You know what I'm saying? You need people in the seminaries, in the classrooms. Like we gotta like have the full complexity, of it. So we need some rah-rah. You know what I mean? Like we need a guy, like even if we agree or not, we do need a guy who may like say like he may have a strong point of view on Kanye West. And somebody, you know what I'm saying, and like, false, whatever they saying, like, you know what I'm saying, like, he may be in that season of life. I've been in all of those different seasons of life, and it's like, that's how you become whole eventually. You know what I mean? Like,
mature.
Like you become more mature. Like, I was on that. Yeah, not that I want to be done with it, but like I'm trying to balance it. Yeah, I'm trying to balance it all out.
Because we know somebody. I don't want to put his name out, but hopefully when I tell y'all the story, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He dude who hang with us, he came to the last podcast. If that give you a clue, he like put on like social media, homosexuality is a sin.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you doing, bro? No context, no nothing. Yeah. And I'm like, I appreciate your zeal because I don't want to squander your zeal.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes it's not always the wisest thing to do, no matter how correct you are.
Yeah.
It's just, we want to bring people in.
Definitely.
You just getting them with the stiff arm right there.
Ostracizing.
Well, I know you got to get to the point, but that person called me.
Okay. Because I was like, I want to talk to him so bad.
Yeah, that person called me, and like I said, look, you knew, just know, like you knew, like if you do this, and like, cause I can't say I disagree.
Yeah.
What I do it, I wouldn't, but you did it. Just be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So like, look, you put it out there. Like, if some people may say put it down or whatever. Like, nah, you put it up there.
Stand on it.
Like, go stand on it. Like, stand. Like, like that was like my stand. Cause he needs that for himself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs that for himself. And like, but like, if you ask me personally, I'm like, I wouldn't have did it that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But there may be some reason why I wouldn't do it that way that I need to like Bizzle. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the Lecrae approach over the but I love the Bizzle approach. Like he's coming at your head. And some people like guys, I'm talking about our community. Guys, like they said, like they told us, people who are not believers, like I like it when you come out our head. Like, I like it when you curse us out. Yeah. Like, that's what they said. Like, when you curse us out, eat hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but like, and I did it because I knew, like, look, I need you to get this. You know what I'm saying?
It's context.
It's context. Like, it's the context. So social media, the context to do that, maybe, maybe not. The time, maybe, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's got to be, like, I'm just like, hey, I'm appreciate both. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can appreciate, like, somebody posted about the Kanye, like I appreciate the fact that Jesus' name is being mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, I don't appreciate all the things that Kanye have said beforehand, and I don't know if this is some kind of sneak move. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for both. Like, all right, I appreciate Jesus. You know, his name is getting mentioned, and Christ is being proclaimed. You know what I mean, and all those kind of things.
But I got my eye on you, bro.
Yeah, you know, but I got that one eye on. The other eye is like, all right, yo, is he gonna when he gonna do the switch up? You know, and then it's like Jesus is like praise Jesus, then it switch to Jesus. You know, like it's so closely related. It's so closely related. I got both. Like one eye is watching both sides. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
No, so two things. One, I think it's also kind of like zeal without knowledge and wisdom is dangerous.
Definitely.
You know, because at the end of the day, and kind of connecting to another point that you mentioned about kind of having conversations with people, it's like I hear people talk about a lot of things, but I don't usually hear people talking about like kind of the curiosity of Jesus, right? Oh, yeah. Like Jesus knew everything, right? Jesus knew everything, but he still asks people questions.
Yeah.
Why?
Definitely. Yeah.
Why would somebody that knows everything ask you a question?
Yeah.
It's like, because there's a curiosity in you telling your own story.
Definitely.
You connecting, and this being a actual connection, not I can tell you everything, because the person that can tell you everything doesn't want to listen to what you have to say, because I already know what's right, and what you have to say doesn't really matter to me. Yeah. But if like literally the person that created everything knows everything, and we know that he knew what people were thinking before they even said it, but he still asks them questions. It's like, then why shouldn't I ask people questions? Why shouldn't I be interested in people's stories? Why shouldn't I interact and try to understand before necessarily saying it, because I don't know everything. Right? And so I think that's the thing. It's like, again, with that, it's like, because you know me, and you probably already know, like, for me, I'm like, that is not a smart move, like, to do. I mean, and maybe I do know this brother, but I don't know. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's like, when you do things that are just necessarily just ostracizing, especially people that you don't even know, like, there's people that seeing that already you're just necessarily building that wall up of the stereotype of what they already expect from you, instead of having that conversation or having the ability to talk with someone and help them kind of figure out or know where they're coming from. You know what I mean? And so and while I agree, I completely agree on the sin part. I completely agree, but at the end of the day, there's a way to honor people while having a conversation about something that you disagree with them about. And I think, again, sometimes I think people, they're standing on something so strong because they don't want to deal with the backlash of really hearing people out and again seeing them as a person that's struggling, not just with whatever that sin is, but just with life as a person, because everybody struggles. Everybody, no matter Christian, non-Christian, like, everybody has issues that they're dealing with in their life at some point in time and another. And so, like, being able to, I think, kind of have that level playing field, because there is a level playing field as far as us just being people and God being perfect and all of us being jacked up, that we can afford to give people grace because we need grace. And I think any time that you're operating, and I'm not saying that grace doesn't necessarily mean you don't come hard at people sometimes, because sometimes that is, but like when you're operating with like a sense of superiority over people, I'm like, and I don't know, I don't know if that was the case, but if you're operating from like a sense of moral superiority over people, it's like, bro, you need to check yourself.
Definitely.
I know.
I think it's tough. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. Like, I would like, you know, one side of me, like, it's the journey. Like, one side of me, like, if I was his age, like, I was doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it helped people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it helps. Like, sometimes it helps not relating and just like saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hit like something. And so it's like, what, like, how God uses it, you don't
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to say like God doesn't, you know, like God is using someone who's skilled, tactful, mature, you know, just as much as the
reckless dude.
Exactly.
My the guy, the disciple of me, my mentor, he, you know, he was convicted by. He was at like Summer Jam or someplace in Atlanta. I forgot what they used to call it.
Talking about Freaknik?
Like, something like that. It was something like that. And a woman just yelled from her porch, like, y'all all going to hell or something like that. And it hit him though. Like, you know what I'm saying? It hit. Like, if he tells his testimony, he remembers that as a moment that, like, got him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, you know, and my life is impacted today, and she would never even know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you ask me today, like, do I agree with her saying that? No, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, to a certain extent, because I'm like, I'm on to build a relationship tip, but I know, like, it's changed some people's lives, and I know some people I've came at in the past, like, a hard way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it
agree.
hit. And like, you know what I mean? And so, like, Paul Washer, like, it hit everybody when he came through. You know what I'm saying? But is everybody still listening as in tune as we were when, like, he first went? Like, I don't think, like, I don't know if people still listen to him at the same level. Like, I know I'm not listening to him at the same level that I was when he first. It was like the most amazing thing I ever heard because it's like it was so convicting. He said it straight, and like, you know, and he got some very strong conservative views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but in my season of life, like, you know, I'm a little further. I shouldn't say that. That's bad. I'm not further progressed. I'm in a different season. I'm in a different season, and I probably need to go back and just listen to it. It was amazing at that moment. That was an amazing moment.
Can I say something? But I think you're just talking to like the way you do ministry could be different. I mean, because you think about it, you got John the Baptist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that's probably pretty. I mean, that's super ultra conservative. Yo, I'm about to go into these woods in the wilderness on my Moses tip.
Yeah.
I'm about to eat locusts and honey and tell all of y'all how y'all not getting into heaven.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, my cousin, the big G.O.D. over here, you know what I mean, he gonna be over here saving prostitutes and, you know, getting tax collectors on his squad. I mean, and the funny thing, it was like, I think at the end of the day, it is supposed to be about getting the message and building a relationship. Not building a relationship with God primarily, not with the way that the person communicates it. Because you think about Jesus, like Jesus literally said, he was like, yo, John the Baptist came out here. My man was in the woods. He ain't do nothing wrong. Y'all hated him. I'm over here chilling, drinking wine. Y'all hate me. Y'all just hate me. Y'all hate God. That's what you do.
Definitely.
You hate God, and no matter how it's communicated to you, you're still gonna hate God. Like, so I think that's the other thing. It's like, I mean, we all have our way that like God has wired us to communicate and get that across. And so like, again, like, so the way I would see it is the way I should communicate it will be maybe different than someone else.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And so while I might be like, yo, I can see the holes in your communication, the other person can see the holes in mine too, you know? And so I think it is about like not necessarily like having those conversations with brothers or whatever, and just also realizing, yo, like however God's using you, if he's using you and you're doing it that way, cool. He using you and he doing it that way, great. We're going to honor one another even if we don't, again, agree even as Christians. Because I think that's the other thing. It's like, me being a Christian, I don't got to agree with everything you're doing. And that doesn't mean that it's a sin. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It doesn't mean you're in the wrong. It's just like, I don't agree with doing it that way, you know?
Exactly.
And I think that's, again, a part of that complexity that, you know, that makes it, I think if people could see that, like from the outside, it's easier to like, oh, I get it now. Like, yo, they don't all support Trump, or you know what I'm saying? You know, they don't all, you know what I'm saying? They ain't all on this like weird, you know, I just want to give everybody a hug. And, you know, it's not, it doesn't have to be either or, you know? So
that means, so out there, if you out there, that means there's room for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you
at the feet of the cross,
there's room for everybody, and all your complexity, as we all are complex, you know, are complex in itself. There's complexity, like, and I think people need to see that. They see like we divide over these things, and that's why you can't see the oneness. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure there's someone in the LGBT community who is like preaching like, you know, fire and brimstone if you believe that they're going to hell. You know what I mean? And you have somebody who's doing the community work. You have somebody who's saying something. You have somebody who's saying like, you know, they posting on social media. You know what I'm saying? But the mission. The mission hasn't changed to try to make this world, I guess, progressive in a sense, you know. And I think for us, like we have to embrace, we have to not be so hard line, you know what I mean, and kind of embrace, like you said, like people doing it differently. But if it's clear command to sin, like that's where we got. All right, like, that's where the line is. Like,
it's like I can respectfully, completely disagree.
I can completely disagree.
You know what I'm saying? I think that is the thing. You know what I'm saying? So open minded that your brain, you know, falls out. Like I do. Now that just made me want to say something, but you know, I don't know if if this is the time and place. So I'll keep my semi-revolutionary ideas to a minimum on this space. But y'all already know.
Nah, yeah. Like I said, y'all been hitting it on the head so many times. Where one of the things that you had mentioned was just like how we saying certain things, we don't know how God is gonna use it. And I read somewhere it's like, you know, God will honor His word, but not the man. And that's something that like always like scared the mess out of me, because it's so easy, you know, to talk about the doubts of the unbelievers and things like that. But I think even as Christians, that doubt hits a little harder. You know, because we know better, but yet we still understand that this life is difficult. You said it. You said we think becoming a Christian make your life so much better. Like my life, it is to an extent, but it's not how you think it's going.
Yo, my world don't stop when the beats commence. Said I'm climbing up this ladder just to get over this fence and run far, far away from the games people play. In this melancholy modern day music Malay, touche. Pussycats with lives to spare that kick you know in your heart, nice as hell. Yeah, be aware, beware. I hate to see you less a liver or worse. Polar bear, winter time, catch the river. Now that's cold, and like that, now that's old. Didn't bother.